Sometimes when I see myself here in the camera, it's like my head is not straight. Well, okay, just be no other way around. So let's have a look if audio is on place. If you follow me and you listen to the last sessions, I actually several times had no
Session.
audios. I think it's happening now. Great. So it's Sunday night here in Dubai, 22:18, and I was already almost asleep and like yesterday, but today I actually did not forget it that I wanted to go live again. I just was in this Sunday mood. I don't know if you've experienced that as well. I mean, all Sundays have another energy, right? Even here in UAE, where the Sunday is not like the same Sunday like for us Christians, and a lot of people are actually working on Sunday, even myself sometimes. But it's just in the air, another energy. And I like that very much, and I even like it very much to work on Sunday. It's because of that. It's not the same energy like on a Monday. I mean, Mondays, do you feel that as well? They are really so busy. And it's not about my Mondays. My Mondays are so quiet and chilled since I'm actually dictating my own pace, my how much I want to do and how I want to feel about that, how much pressure I want to have or no pressure, right? I told myself how to do that already 20 years ago. I remember very well. I was second year in business and I was so exhausted. I worked so much. I actually left the bed at 4 a.m. in the morning. Not because I had to, but I thought I must do it to be a good self-employed, to be a good entrepreneur. And I stood up, did my things, and I was very on pressure. I did it very fast, and I took all my dogs. I had my dog school, it was my first company at the time, and I went with them for a walk. Sometimes I had specific dogs at home from my clients, evil dogs, and I worked with them. So I had to go with them alone. And it was about 6 or 7 in the morning when I finished my tours with the dogs. And at 10, I actually I finished everything. Then I didn't know what to do. Mostly I had the client sessions in the evenings or sometimes, so twice or 3 times a week I went to a client at home. But, I realized in the second year I must change something because I literally created a burnout without really having much to do, without really having this big success and a lot of clients. So I taught myself an own system actually. You know what? Do you see that? It's like in winter. If I would live in Antarctica or something like that, I could understand it, right? But I live in Dubai and I had just cold. I felt like cold before. Sometimes I have still this heats and cold from hormonal menopause. But yes, at that time I actually told myself, I love angel numbers. I have 22 now. I told myself how to regulate my body. I realized then that I actually stood up at 4 a.m. because I learned it from my father. And don't get me wrong, it's nothing bad about that, right? It was his system. He was a gardener. He was very, very successful, but he worked really, very hard in the first decades, very, very hard, until the first success came out. And after that, he could literally not stop to work hard, but it was not necessary anymore. But this is what I actually saw, what I learned from him, to stand up at 4 a.m. So now someone is here. Say hello in the chat. I would love to chat with you. Worked beautifully yesterday. So I had literally to unlearn this observation behavior because I realized 4 a.m. is nothing for me. And I learned from a mentor from Carnegie Training. Later on, I actually made my education there as a coach trainer. I learned from him that I have to listen to my body, and I can only find out what my biorhythm is when I just let the body do what it wants to do. And I needed about 4 or 5 weeks where I allowed myself to stand up without a clock, right? So in the first days, my body could not stand up later than at 4 a.m. It was so deep. And then came a phase where I literally slept in the day 10, 11, 12 sometimes. So it was like my body craved the sleep. It was like filling up a tank. It was very interesting to observing that. And then after this phase, I realized that the body actually like tingled back to the ideal time to stand up in the morning. And I realized my ideal time from my biorhythm, when everything is on place, is about 7:30 to 8:30. And then I allowed myself to do that instead 4 a.m. Can you imagine? No. And this was the best I ever did. And from that, this was actually foundation where I taught myself a really genius time and prioritization system, and Carnegie Training, what I just mentioned, where I made my education 4 years as a business coach to coach trainer. I learned there to work with, in German it's zeitdichte Schotten, so like time intensive windows. So you just create your time windows. You literally give yourself your own appointments for private stuff or for for business processes, internally things as well. And this was the best system I developed there, and I teach it also to my clients. Since about 6 or 7 years, I teach a quantum version of that, where we literally remove every pressure from outside so that we are really in our customized pace in the daily life. And I realized also I literally had to detox at the time, 20 years ago, after my biorhythm could actually find the center and its own pace for standing up in the morning. I after that realized I was literally in a toxic behavior. I had a deep condition to pressure myself and to not only being busy, but really to be stressed, right? So I've actually forgot why I talked about that. But probably it's interesting for you. If you are interested, I developed a little course. It's called Quantum Time. It's the smallest, most deepest and effective course I ever created about time management, actually. If you want that, just write Quantum Time and I send you the link. So, yes, speaking of, I just literally froze a few minutes ago. That's why I like this blanket. So, chilling with this blanket on the sofa. It's even in the hot Dubai. Very, very beautiful. I mean, here you learn to live with air condition. It's not only to cool down the temperature, but it's also to clean the air. It depends a little bit on the area you live. And I actually don't live there where everyone means what Dubai is. I don't live in Marina or on a palm, right? So we have normally, if it's not windy and no stormy wind from the desert, we have actually a really good air condition. But sometimes the air is just dirty, and then I'm very happy to have a good air condition system here. Yeah. And I also like to sleep with colder temperature, to be honest. And then I really appreciate it to stand up in the middle of the night and to put on the air condition, and it cools down to 20 degrees. And then I have actually the best sleep ever. I'm not sure if this is coming from my habits in Switzerland. I mean, in Switzerland, I just loved it to sleep with a half open window, and especially when it was cold outside. And people tell that's also very healthy. I feel just very good with that, so I do it, right? Yes. So, yes, speaking of that, you can actually buy the things in my Etsy store. I just saw recently I'm now able to build in my Etsy store here in the YouTube channel. I should do that soon, right? You can customize it. Here is my initials, and there's written, I love my soul calling, which is true. I use that every day. And thanks to that, I drink actually enough. Yeah. So it's very exciting. Exciting time is coming now. I mean, I always have excited times. I'm never bored, really, never, never, never. Sometimes, especially at times like this weekend, where I come down and I relax. I have so many ideas, it's incredible. My note app is literally exploding. And sometimes I even don't know what I've wrote in the morning. It's so much. And I had to learn to prioritize the right things, right? But I had to learn not to judge about the downloads, just to write it down so that my system, my mind was not stressed, right? So I enjoy the downloads, like these flow feelings, and then normally I go through it again later and I pick the things which feels aligned for my business or also for my personal life. I mean, actually today I had several ideas in the kitchen. I created a new recipe with sourdough almond flour cookies. It was actually like brownies, and very delicious. And then I created my own organic lemon juice. Mm. And then I did a meal prep for next week. And then, yes, and then I prepped in my head. Next thing I will do in the kitchen is a self fermented mustard, mustard. I think you say mustard, Senf in German, right? I like Senf, mustard. I like it so much. And it's actually a fermented product. If it's a good product, or even in the grocery store, you get a fermented product, which is very healthy for the gut. And now I want to do it on my own. So next week is very exciting. Tomorrow we start the Visibility and Identity Challenge, which I already started, right? 7 days before my clients. And tomorrow I start with my clients, which is very, very, very exciting. Today, another person decided to join. This is so good. It will be such a difference to compare if we go live every day for 3 months or not. It will create a difference, definitely. I'm very curious about that. And yes, sometimes we ask ourselves, what should I just tell, right? And sometimes we pick something from the list with topics for our soul clients. And sometimes it's just something personal, like no, right? Yes. The main thing is to go live. And then in the afternoon, I actually also have a so beautiful training session. At the moment, we have it once a month. It's in the Perception Palace, Tourmaline, level 2, where I coach my beautiful clients with using their specific blend of psychic and clear senses. This is always so touching, I tell you. And when I don't forget it, I will tell you about that tomorrow. This could be nice, right? I could actually put that after these sessions, and then I can tell you about that. Yeah, let's do that. Just move the thing. That's what I do, right? I have always my calendar like that. The colors are specific main tasks, specific own calendars, and so I don't miss things. And yes, then there is also an inner circle coaching call actually next week with my little beautiful small membership in the Soul Calling portal. We always talk about how to adjust this new message of our true purpose, because this is what you learn in the Soul Calling portal. And at the moment, even for free, you can go through a classroom where you get guidance how to connect with your soul, your true part, immortal part, right? It's you, but you get through this guidance more clarity, more awareness, more consciousness about your true purpose, what you actually should know now. And I do that since 22 years. And my experience showed that the most of the people going through this process are always deeply touched, very, very deep in this experience, tears, transformations, things, letting go, all this healings, and especially realizations about what they truly desire and for what they truly want to go in their life. And then the next step is to adjust it, to bring it in the daily life, right? Not to allow that the daily life until yesterday literally leads you further on. You will never change something if this happens. So the inner circle, where we have a call on Tuesday, helps the members to adjust easier, to talk about that, what they experience actually, how to manage their daily life so that the new thing has a chance, so that they don't forget it. This is the biggest part, because old habits are very, very strong, and we need to do some tweaks. There are some tweaks, some tricks. I don't like the word, but it's actually like that. And then we are able to adjust and to more step by step, more and more, to get in the direction we really want, right? But sometimes it's so important not to be alone on this path. So what's there as well? It's the, yeah, then we have also, actually I realize it's implementation week. We have that in my world always 3 weeks. The first 3 weeks of the month are coaching, hot seat, whatever is included in the specific program my clients choose. And in the 4th week of the month, we implement. And sometimes we have more than 4 weeks, right? And this time we have even almost 5 weeks. So the 1st of May is a Friday. That's why we already start to implement next week, which is so beautiful always. We can look back to the first 3 weeks, what we learned, we contemplate, we compound the memory, we anchor down what is really important for us and create specific paths and steps ahead. Yes, this gets a very beautiful week, very chilly. And so God will, we will also have a good decision after the ceasefire. It should end actually at 20 seconds, which will be Wednesday. Right? Pray for us and for us all in the whole world. It affects everyone. And then we just look forward. I mean, you don't miss anything because I still come live every day, tomorrow I actually will start to tell you how it was in the Perception Palace session. And in the days after that, you get again more of my expertise. I tell you more from my world, how I work with my clients and all the things. I think it's not bad at the weekend to tell more about the personal things. What do you think? Let me know it in the comments. So I decided I don't have to prepare my face, right? All the makeup thing is actually never my thing. But I did nothing because it's Sunday night. And I even did not make my hair. You can even have a look at the video last night. I came in with the wet hair, messy and very tired. Yeah. So I have a beautiful view now in the dark of Dubai nights, and I see Burj Khalifa. It's about 1 kilometer distance, I think. Yes, about 700-800 or 1 kilometer distance. And when the weather is good, I see all the lights as well. It's very calming. Then I sit here on my sofa and have a look to the lights of the town. I really enjoy that. And yes, with all these political changes, the economical changes from the last weeks, it's also very, very calm here. Yes. So I would love if you leave a comment, even if you see that later. I would love to get to know you. And yes, let's chat. I mean, I will answer to every comment. At the moment, I can do that. Right. I have a goal to increase the channel massively. Probably sometime I cannot do it. But at the moment I can do it and I want to do it. I love it to connect with you. I love to get your thoughts and your own memories when you listen to me. And yes, don't forget to follow if you want to stick with me with the challenge. I would love that. And visit also my other playlists. It's very interesting, I suppose. And we see us tomorrow. Bye.